we're not done yet. It's not it. There are no shortage of videos on YouTube showing you cost-effective ideas of things to do on a budget. I sat down and looked at my own life and I came up with 10 free, or nearly free, ideas of fun things that you can do on a budget so that you can save money for your investing or other money goals. I say free or nearly free because I know that we all have different opportunities presented to us. So what might be free for me might be different for you depending on where you live and what is available to you. This is probably the most unique idea that I can think of, and it is to learn how to dance. Of course, this is a good pre or post-pandemic activity, but it's a lot of fun and something I have really enjoyed. I loved country music, and when I saw people dancing to that music, I wanted to have as much fun as they were. I started taking lessons at a local bar that had free lessons before their rush came in. Of course, they're hoping that you stick around and have some drinks and some food, which you probably should, and not be cheap about tipping the bartenders either. So this might be a nearly free activity, but it's definitely worth it. A lot of experienced dancers might say that I look like a giraffe on roller skates when I'm on that dance floor, but you know what? I have so much fun. I'm always laughing and smiling, and it is a blast. Some people get really self-conscious about being new and people looking at them, but I'll tell you what, even the most experienced dancers remember what it's like to be new, and they're happy to give you tips and be patient while you learn. This dance clip is at Dave & Buster's. You know, the video game place? They offer salsa lessons and country dance lessons, and then it's open dancing for the rest of the evening up on the roof. You just need to be aware of different opportunities. Another idea is to grab a friend or a dance partner that you like having fun with, pull up YouTube, search the style of dance you want to learn, and just slowly go through move by move until you figure it out. Ladies, let me tell you, there is nothing more fun than putting on a cute little sundress and spinning around the dance floor to music you love. And fellas, you will be a complete ladies' man if you learn how to dance. I'll also give you the hint that I spoke to your wives and girlfriends, and they told me personally that they want you to learn how to dance. Hands down, one of the best recommendations that I've come across for free activities is fostering from my local dog rescue. There's really a ton of options when it comes to dog fostering and what you want to do. This girl here is just hanging out with me for a couple hours in between her foster family and her adopter. I've also taken about 30 dogs from the county shelter and kept them in my home until they were adopted, usually around like 2 to 4 weeks after. It is super rewarding to save a life and have a cute little puppy around for a little while. Puppies are a lot of work, so I typically foster adult dogs or around like 2 years old. You would think that it would be too hard to give up the dogs that you foster to their adopted families, but it is just so rewarding to know that you helped them out and found them a great home. I volunteer with the Pet Knot out of Phoenix, Arizona, and they cover all the costs. Food, spay and neuter, toys, a collar. I don't have to pay a single penny. There are a lot of different options if you're interested in fostering. I've checked out a dog for the day to give it a break from the shelter, and I've also done vacation relief for other fosters where I just watch them for a weekend or so. However much time you can commit to a dog rescue, I am sure they'd be super grateful for the help and relief support. And for $0, you feel super good and you get to play with puppies. Of course, we all know that if you're on a budget, focusing on outdoor activities is a great thing to do. But there are only so many hikes that I can go on before I get kind of sick of it. Especially being in Phoenix, my options are a little bit limited in the summertime because it's supposed to be 115 degrees this week, so I'm not going anywhere. So for this recommendation, I'm not going to mention hiking necessarily, but it may require some access to some other things. For example, I love making a big deal out of pool days. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have a swimming pool, but that also means that it's not necessarily special to me because it's always there. I found that if I make a big deal of it, like bringing my dog out there to play, throwing on a fun playlist like reggae music or 50s music, maybe making a special drink like a root beer float, having some friends over if there's not a pandemic going on, it just makes it a little special.
I bet you smell so good right now.
I'm pretty lucky in that I have some friends that have four-wheel drive vehicles. But if this is also the case for you, you can go explore some off-road trails and check out some sites in your area that maybe you haven't experienced yet. If you're lucky, you can also find a secret little getaway where you can set up and just hang out with your friends, maybe have a couple drinks. It's really fun and relaxing. Just be sure that you're not off-roading alone. You want to have 2 or more vehicles, just in case you get stuck. Of course, I am speaking from experience. I got stuck in Sedona in the summertime. It was hot, it was miserable. I was stranded for like 8 hours. Moral of the story, take 2 cars. I really want to learn another language, and Spanish is what I'm focusing on. I have paid for Rosetta Stone and I use that myself to practice Spanish, but there are plenty of other options that you can learn a new language for free. One of the most popular and very fun ones is Duolingo, an app on your cell phone. What's great about using the Duolingo app on your phone is it's really easy and fun. So if I go to it now, I can practice just a couple minutes a day, and I also kind of like that it gives me text reminders to go ahead and practice. We can see the different topics that I can choose from. You can see my progress of, I guess, how well I'm doing on it, how much I've practiced it, and it kind of levels up. So if I want to go to the travel topic.
Yo necesito mi maleta.
Yo necesito mi maleta.
Un taxi, por favor.
A taxi, please? Yay! Super fun. So you're learning and it's fun. If I'm feeling super restless, a lot of times it's because I need a creative outlet. I have a lot of camera gear already, so it costs me $0 to pick up my camera and start shooting some things. Of course, you may not have all the big fancy camera gear, and that's fine. If you have that creative flair and you have an iPhone or some other smartphone, you can easily take that phone and go take some great pictures. If you're lacking inspiration, check out different photo challenges on Google or Pinterest. There are different themes and even weekly or daily prompts that help inspire you and give you direction on things that you can take photos of. The other fantastic thing about this idea is that there are hashtags and different Facebook groups that you can participate in along with these challenges. That helps you get connected with other people, and you can get feedback on your photos and give feedback on theirs, and it's a great way to build up a community with people with similar interests. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I have not found this to be true in my experience. A lot of times when our puppies grow a little bit older, we kind of forget about dog training. They already know how to sit and stay and roll over, shake, whatever you want your dog to do. So we kind of give up on dog training after we get our puppies to that point. However, if you're looking for a fun, free activity to do, I recommend going on YouTube and checking out some different things that you can teach your furry best friend, and the process is a lot of fun. Nikita, place. Yes, good girl. Sit. Sit. Good, lay down. There you go, good girl. Okay, your turn. Tinsley, place. That's not it. That's not a place. That's not it. Tinsley, sit. Good. Place. That's not it. That's not what I had in mind. Place. No, come back. Come back. No, come here. Place. Place. Oh, that's close. That's not quite what I meant. Place. Tinsley, place. Sit. Good girl. You're getting so good. Oh, you're so smart. Yes. Look who is good in their places. Now if they could just learn to go here when the doorbell rings, that'd be so good. Such good girls. I'm not a big fan of going to the gym or working out in general, but sometimes I get a little restless. I have found that when it's nice outside, taking my bike for a spin is a lot of fun and gets out that extra energy. YouTube is also a great source for different workouts that can bring variation to your life and give you a good workout. I'm a big fan of yoga, and in particular, I use Yoga with Adrian on YouTube.
Step or slide the left toes back all the way back to a nice high lunge. Good. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, pivot on the back. Inhale to shift forward, and exhale, send the hips up high and back, downward facing dog. Send the left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. Gaze straight to the sky. Keep the left arm upside down.
It is no secret that I love to read, so you know that I have to put on my list going to your local library. Maybe reading is something that you've always wanted to do, but you don't quite know where to start, so it's just not something that you regularly do. I always get teased for enjoying a good theme in my life, but I definitely recommend a theme when it comes to figuring out books that you would want to read. Maybe you want to check out some biographies, or maybe you want to read some Agatha Christie novels. There is a ton of ideas to get you started. One reading goal that I have though is that I want to read more Stephen King. I currently own a lot of his books, so that's not necessarily free, but you could easily get these from your local library. I've read Pet Sematary. It was awesome, truly terrifying. I read 11/22/63, which is really a massive brick of a book. By having some direction, I know what to look at my local library, and it's a lot easier to get started checking out a big stack of books and reading through them, and that costs $0. Similar to picking a theme and checking out library books, I had a lot of fun when I looked at watching old classic movies. This idea came to me because I watched And Then There Were None. It's an old black and white movie based on an Agatha Christie novel, and it was so much fun to watch. It was kind of a little bit cheesy, although the story is really good. Old movies are just a completely different world. I watched it for free on an app on my TV. I think it was Tubi or something like that. So again, this is one of those nearly free ideas, because depending on what kind of movies you wanted to binge watch, there could be a cost associated. And another idea is that I love watching movies of books that I've recently read. I've mentioned Stephen King and Pet Sematary, which is a movie I really want to watch, but I'm kind of a baby when it comes to horror movies, so I don't know if I can handle it. But speaking of horror movies, you could always Google classic horror movies that you can check off your list. Here's an idea of different horror movies that I found when I was Googling this for some different ideas. I don't know if I'm gonna be checking off a lot from this list, but still good to give you some inspiration. When I Googled the top classic movies though, I realized that I have not seen most of them. Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Lawrence of Arabia, Gone with the Wind, the Godfather movies, I definitely have not seen those, and I feel like I should. I'm sure it's no surprise that binge watching shows and TV is a good, budget-friendly activity, but sometimes it's kind of stale and boring, so you need a little bit of inspiration of what to look for. I know I'm not unique when I say that food is my biggest budget buster. I like takeout, I like fast food now and then, and eating at home can get really mundane. I try to find ways to spice it up, literally. And Pinterest is a great way to find some new recipes that I'm a little bit more excited to make. I usually try a Pinterest recipe, and if I like it, I print it out here and put it in my own little cookbook. So I know the things that are tried and true that I actually like. I hate buying actual cookbooks that I only make like 2 things from it. This is the recipe I'm going to be making today, which I got from Pinterest, but I have edited a little bit. Normally I put sweet potatoes in it, but today I think I'm gonna replace that with a couple cans of black beans. But this I found just to try because it looks super easy. It's in the crock pot, which I love because it doesn't heat up the house, and it's super tasty. Look, I even have my kitchen helpers. They're so helpful at picking up food that falls on the floor and supervising me to make sure that I'm making everything properly. And you know, if I don't properly throw away like the packaging for chicken or something, they will be so kind and help me clean it up by shredding it to pieces. I'm talking to you about that. Yeah, I know you. Comment down below if any of these have worked for you, or if you learned of a new activity that you can do for nearly free. Like I always say, you can be on a budget and save money for investing and other money goals without sacrificing style or fun. Hopefully this video gave you some inspiration and some things to try.